Hey you, hey Gene. So on this one, buying fractional gold on a budget, it's just going to be answering a question I've recently had, and that's going to boil down to: is it wise? Is it smart buying fractional gold right now? And it's going to be focusing mainly and more so on, it was stressed highly that it is a budget. So the largest size they could push to, and it would be a very big push, would be the 1/10 ounces. So we're going to be excluding the quarter ounces and above, and I'll give my views on the quarter ounces in a moment. But before we jump into this, I'd like to say, if you haven't done so already and you like what you see / hear, please do like and subscribe, and also let me know your thoughts and opinions down below on whether you think buying fractional gold right now is good or bad, or just buying fractional gold in general. If you don't have the budget, I know a lot of people can jump into silver instantly because of the low prices, or maybe not so long. But do you think buying fractional gold in general is a bad thing? Let me know down below in the comments, and I'll address a lot of the pros and cons that I put out there and give answers to them. So yeah, go ahead and do that. But starting from the quarter ounces, I would say, and it was brought to my attention, even though I totally understand this. For me, looking at the quarter ounces to a degree, and just the way I view them, I think once you get into quarter ounce territory, it's you can technically put them out the fractional gold sense, and that's just the way I view them. Of course, they're still fractional. Anything that doesn't reach an ounce is classed as fractional. But I think if somebody purely picks up the fractionals, then they're in a good position where they've got to have enough savings, or they're making enough, or don't have enough overheads or debt, that you're able to really, because gold quarter ounces really do push the stack up real fast, especially if you're getting a quarter ounce a month or something. But I'm not saying that these don't. The fractional under a quarter ounce most definitely do, and I'm going to be focusing on those. But sovereigns also do come in fractions under the sovereign. That's what's technically the quarter ounce and a couple of grams missing. So we have the half sovereign and quarter sovereign. So I believe the half sovereign falls around the 1/10 ounce mark. Correct me if I'm wrong below in the comments. So I'm going to focus on the smaller sizes and also show them as I'm babbling away, and give you some type of comparison here. So this is the absolute smallest you're going to be picking up, and that's going to be the 0.5. I believe you can get smaller than that. I think it was the Royal Mint that ended up doing a 1/50th, and just ridiculously small. But when you're looking at a 0.5, and I've also got snazzy fazzy real proof, long story short, coins here. So let's imagine these are your standard quarter ounce BU Britannias or Eagles or Canadian Maples. It's not in comparison to high premium. A lot of these technically are. But yeah, is it wise? I would say 100% it's wise. If you can pick up, funnily enough, if you was to ask me if picking up fractional silver was wise, I'd personally say no, as I've just mentioned, because you can pick them up. Silver is relatively low, regardless of what your budget is. I'm sure you could spare $15 or $20 or £15, £20 to pick up an ounce of silver a month. So when you get into fractional, the only thing that makes sense picking up fractional silver, in my opinion, is going to be junk, garbage, or whatever you want to refer to it. More of the old coinage where they contain some degree of silver, either 10, 20, and that's technically fractional junk. It falls into that category. But when it comes to gold, I think it's always going to be a wise bet picking up fractional. Especially as if that's all you can get. We'll get into what a lot of people say and regarding the bigger premiums that you're paying. But if it's don't be underwhelmed. You're not going to be overwhelmed by the size of the piece you're getting. Just remember that it's gold. So it would never be a stupid decision, regardless of what people say, and I'll touch upon that. Gold is gold, so it is a wise move, especially as whenever you're getting him, and I'll keep pushing. It's whatever your budget allows you to get. So you could be looking at the 0.5, so that's half a gram there, and next you're going to be looking at something like a 1 gram. So then I would say, answering the question is, do you lose? Do you lose when you pick up fractional pieces? And I'd say absolutely not. Depending on the pieces. I mean, look at this piece here. This is technically a collector coin that you're looking at. And this is 1 gram. I don't want to do the comparisons if I can. I think somebody mentioned last time, it's more down to the depth. Got a lot of shadows going on here. Shadows. But, you would lose. The only way I could see you lose, and this is what a lot of people say, you lose your premiums when you go to sell, or you're paying the extra premiums. But the only way you're really going to lose when it comes to pieces, fractional pieces, is if you're selling to a cutthroat dealer. As mentioned, these were purchased around the £30 sterling at the time. That's around $39 we're going by today's rates. And now they easily sell upwards of £75, £70. That's, $100 damn near, $95. So timing's going to play a key role, as always. I'm always pushing timing. But you only lose if you need to liquidate fast and you find yourself up against a cutthroat dealer. They're going to take full advantage and straight away not take into consideration the extra premium that you've paid. But I'll break into avenues where you can easily claw that back in the next point that I'm going to make. So that would be something like the 1 gram that you're looking at. Just size comparisons here. The next is going to be, the ballpark of where the majority should be able to get in if you're on a real tight budget, but easily the 1 gram. Would I recommend a 0.5? It's all on the individual, but me, myself, you've never seen no more 0.5s in my stack, whereas you could easily see more 1 grams if the right coin came along. So we'll look at the 1/20th ounces here. So on a situation where you're never going to lose, so I would say the best resale approach, and that is going to be to wait for the apocalypse. I'm joking, you'll be able to buy lots and loads of breads on this fractional stuff here, but outside of the apocalypse, where you could buy land for a 1 gram coin and billions of loaves of breads and damn near all the slaves that you want, if that's your thing, the best resale approach would be wait for a price rise. Just like I showed on those pandas just then. A price rise is always going to put whatever you paid at a certain time or whenever you got in at a better position. So, a price, a rise in spot, and then you could either liquidate then, depending on when you got in and depending on the pieces. The higher premium that you paid over an ounce is going to be, absorbed, and you work from there and you walk from there. So that is going to be one of the best options. And then I would say easily the secondary market. The secondary market is always going to know what the price is coming in and know what they're going to have to pay you going out. And so they're not going to give you, a dealer could easily tell you, look, this is the price that we're paying for that coin, and that is that. There's no ifs, ands and buts about it. We will give you this for that coin, and we don't take into consideration the premium you paid. Whereas on the secondary market, knows it's part and parcel. There's no ifs, ands and buts. You're going to make your money back. They know they're in the market for that coin. What also works in your favor is the dealer that's willing to, be real cutthroat about the situation is only going to put that exact same coin up for its real market value. So if you're going to lose, that give or take 30, I'd say 20% of the premiums, 25%, he's only going to put it back on his website and sell it at that price with a markup back there. So, on the secondary market, you're technically able to sell as a dealer sells. So anybody coming to purchase that coin knows this. So you'll easily make your money there. So you don't uber lose when getting into fractional coins unless it's a situation like that. So I would say, and somebody recently mentioned, getting into the right coins, fractional coins, you're not going to lose. Someone mentioned that it was damn near impossible for them to find fractional eagles at one point, and their dealer was actually paying the premium easily and a little above for fractional eagles. So dealers will pay the right price if the coin is right also. So it's not an automatic lose, and whenever I'm mentioning lose here, it's regarding the extra premium you pay over an ounce. So, the premiums are a lot lower. You can pay anywhere from 1% to 2% if you're over spot price when you're picking up a whole ounce. Whereas if you pick up fractionals, the premiums go up. You can pay anywhere from 10, 15, 20, who damn knows, and 50% over spot price sometimes, and just breaking it down and working it out. If you used to pick up, 20 of these, for instance, 120 equals an ounce, then you could be looking at paying damn near $3,000 or pounds for your ounce. So you can easily calculate it like that. Whereas if you just buy an ounce outright, it would cost you damn near 2,000. So that's where you see the premiums, and that's an easy way to calculate really. If you was to, if it was a 1/10, you add up the whole 10 of them and see what the price is, and that gives you a price on a whole ounce. So dealers will also pay back and easily pay the extra premiums if it's coins that a lot of people are going in for. But that also goes to show that there's lots of people that don't want to go in too hard, too heavy. They believe, when that day comes, it's going to be a fantastic barter coin. You'd be surprised. Easily 50% of the people in fractional gold believe if gold goes to astronomical prices, then when it comes to barter time, the fractional is going to be the ones. But I don't fall into that category, but I definitely wouldn't write it off. So it's definitely something that it shouldn't be a massive concern to you. So next would be, should you worry about paying the premiums? I would easily say no. You shouldn't worry about paying the premium, because as mentioned before, you will get the premiums back. And it's one of those situations where the biggest mantra out there is, you're paying a lot over spot price, all the premiums, you won't get them back, you won't get them back. But I've always said people become their own personal financial advisors when we get into the metals, funnily enough, whereas if you look at easily 90% of their life, they're paying over cost price for damn near everything in their life. People have nothing wrong with this. If this is the only option for you, but they've leased, they've credited, they've hire purchased their entire life away. So they're in credit technically, but you never hear them, you're paying so much of a percentage over the $100 you just borrowed off the credit card. So people pay a higher percentage and pay a higher premium every day of their life. I know people that own items of clothing that cost an ounce of gold. Understandably so, and not understandably so if you own the suit, but if you're not making an ounce of gold from the transaction or the deal that you're bartering or making, then you don't need to own that much. So people, and the same people I'm referring to, don't own a gram of gold. So you can imagine how they felt the pinch in these current times. So I would not worry about paying that. Once again, it all boils down to what your pocket can afford at the time. And once you get in and start accumulating, the aim of the game is to always aim for higher. So if your situation doesn't change and this is all you can pick up, remember, we're going to get the rise in spot price. Remember, what you have, people will have no problem buying back of you of that price, because dealers will always have it at that price. If you go to sell it to a cutthroat dealer, they're not going to want to pay you the premiums, but if they put it on their site, they're going to be putting it up at the same price. This is why you can technically have a coin that has a massive market, put it on the secondary market, and people will come and pay that price off of you, because that's the going rate. So you lose if you come across a cutthroat dealer. And people have contacted me as of recent and mentioned, cutthroat dealers offering scrap for fractional coins, regardless of what they are. And it's just a dealer seeing an opportunity there. A lot of the times when you walk in, if you don't have a good relationship with them, you're desperate, But then people have said they have fantastic relationship with dealers. Dealers have contacted them. Somebody's bought in some fractional, they've given them a call and said, I'll take it and give it to you for what I get it for. So it's just one of those things. I've always advocated getting as many dealers and as big a dial-up list as possible when it comes to reselling, because that's going to be the key thing there. But I'm going to wrap this one up, guys. But let me know your thoughts and opinions if you had to purchase fractional gold on a budget, how you would approach it. Do you think it's good, or do you think it's an absolute no? As mentioned, I believe you can always get the premiums back. It's just that, many would say it's a wiser approach, but I totally understand. For many, it's not an option. Even saving, because it's one of those situations where we don't know what's going to happen, especially if you're in the UK, we have Brexit coming. I don't think silver's going to be affected as badly as I don't think gold's going to be affected as badly as silver is, but it's one of those things where people want to get in and get now, and I totally understand that. A lot of times you don't have the patience to play it by the book, wait, funds will come along, and then you make your move from there, and you just want to act here and now. So let me know your thoughts and opinions on buying fractional gold on a budget. Do you do it? Do you not do it? I still purchase fractional. I've seen before. A lot of the times it's mainly higher premium proof pieces, but in the past when I wanted to complete orders, you always just throw a fractional in. A lot of times people are doing that now to beat the tax purposes, when a lot of dealers are charging taxes, and just to complete orders, maybe to get free shipping. So it's something a lot of people do, but I would not worry about paying the premium. As mentioned, people pay higher premiums for everything in their life, and they don't even think twice about it. Just remember, they're paying all these higher premiums, whether it's paying back credit card debt, or buying items of clothing grossly overpriced, or even items of food, and they're getting nothing out of it. Whereas you're entering that elite group that own physical metals and own real wealth. So let me know your thoughts and opinions down below, guys. Once again, if you haven't done so already, please do go ahead and like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the rebound.